Reddit, what is the dumbest question a customer or client has ever asked you at your job? Library. Once I checked out several books to a woman and told her the return date. She looked at her friend, then back at me, and said, shocked, "You mean I have to bring the books back?" I used to work as a bank teller. A lady came up to me and asked to withdraw money. I informed her that she couldn't withdraw money because her account was overdrawn. She was immediately upset, so I had her account checked for fraud. She then explained that all those charges were hers and she wasn't expecting any payments. She was spending money she knew she didn't have. She then asked me why we couldn't just give her more money. Renovating a major hospital when the owner changes their mind again and wants to change the plan after we've started construction. You guys can take care of that, right? With no extra cost? Oh. And the end date won't change, will it? We sure as duck can't, Steve. And it sure as duck will. Those changes are gonna cost another $100,000. And now we need to go buy completely different materials and figure out what the duck you're talking about. The schedule is duck now. This is why construction never ends on the first given end date. I worked at Kinkus and on 3 separate occasions different people angrily asked me why I returned their fax documents to them. They thought that a fax machine was some kind of Willy Wonka thing that sent their original piece of paper to the recipient. I used to work in a call center for a large bank and a customer phoned while he was in one of the branches and said the queue was too big, so he wanted me to help him. I asked what his query was and he said the ATM was broke, so he had to withdraw cash. I asked how I could possibly help him withdraw cash from the bank over the phone and he said, "Why can't you just fax it to me?" Vet tech. A lot of people think their dog's nipples are ticks. A lot. One man even pulled a "but he's a boy" on us. When my brother was 15 and working at Woolworth's supermarket, a woman asked him the quantities of paracetamol painkillers she could administer to her kids. He said, "The only advice I can give you is to not take medical advice from a 15-year-old. She just stormed off like he was rude. Being a good bloke, he got me a job there too. I had this bogan come up and we had this lovely interaction. Her, "You got any more of that purple it?" Me, "I'm sorry." Her, slowly, "You know, purple." Me, blank shocked stare. Her, "You're ducking useless." E. For the confused Americans. Find attached bogan tutorial. Full stop. Long time ago now. Got a call that a user's laptop was dead and wouldn't power on. I go and check it out. Press the button. No life. Plug it into the power. It starts charging. Press the button. It boots just fine. The user wasn't plugging the laptop into power because she thought we had wireless. For my name. Not the question itself, but the reason why he asked. I was volunteering as cashier at a used bookstore for the LibreOffice at my regular job, but I do it often. In comes this older fella who buys a big stack of books for like $10. He was really nice and chatty, though he didn't seem completely aware mentally. Not a big deal. I just had to explain sales tax and the book pricing a couple times before he seemed to get it. He pays by credit card and I explained to him how to sign the touchscreen for the payment to go through. This is where he asks for my name. I tell him. He takes the iPad and says he really appreciated my service and happily tells me he's going to sign my name for the card so they will know to send the money to me. Before I can say no, wait. He's submitted the signature. I can't see his receipt, but he keeps telling me I was great and to keep the change, so I can't assume he was being legit. I honestly wouldn't call it dumb, just bizarre. Made me wonder if he's been signing cashier names the entire time he's had a credit card. Thank goodness the card companies never check those things. I used to work at a grocery store deli. My co-worker for some reason got more stupid questions than anyone else. We'd swap stories every shift. But one went a little like this. "Hi, what can I get you?" "The 8-piece chicken." "How many pieces are in it?" How many pieces are in the 8-piece chicken?" There are 8 pieces in the 8-piece chicken." "Okay, I'll have that, please." To be fair, the lady was awfully polite, but how many pieces are in the 8-piece chicken is still a stupid question. An edit. A few people said maybe she meant how many of each piece. No, she meant how many pieces are in the 8-piece chicken. I said 8. Packaged it up. And she went away happy. While towing his car to a dealership, "So what do you do for a living?" He was serious. He assumed I had another job because I didn't fit the Billy Bob persona he associated with tow truck drivers. When I asked for here or to go, I got a confused look followed by "What would you recommend?" Someone once asked me, "Why are you guys making it so difficult to find a car parking spot this time of year?" It was Christmas time, and I was a casual working in a tiny store in a huge shopping center. I didn't even know what to say. "Do you guys sell ice here?" "No sir, sorry about that." "Alright, yeah, got anything like ice?" What? A co-worker at a video store asked, "Does this calculator do math?" I used to work in computer sales and repairs. Had a customer come up who was maybe 23 years old saying she couldn't get her laptop to open something. So I take it and open it and casually ask, "What is it you can't get open?" She looks at me shocked as I open the laptop screen and tells, "I have been trying for hours to get IT to open. How do you do that?" I look at her not knowing how to respond and close it and open it again. She takes it and walks out saying thank you. I took a long look at my computer I was working on and decided that this was the moment that made me quit that job. "Can we open the curtains to make the screen brighter?" While pointing at a projector and screen setup, she seriously thought that more light in the room would make everything brighter, as if the projection was some sort of moving painting. Had a customer ask for a 100% lead crystal decanter. I had just explained to him what 20% lead crystal meant. "No, you can't get 100% lead cause it wouldn't be crystal and also it'll kill you." Not a question, but someone once effectively told me they were allergic to air. I used to work in an optician's where we'd carry out pressure tests, a few puffs on air onto the surface of your eye, where quite literally, the machine just blows your eye with, yup, air. The customer was adamant she was allergic to it, couldn't have it done, and in fact accused me of not knowing what I was talking about. Work at a zoo, and one year they did a big TV advert to highlight night zoo since we are open until 9 PM during summer. At around noon a woman asked me where was the night zoo. I said here, but in 6 hours. Working as a flight attendant, London to Miami in business class. Mum with 1 toddler and 1 5-year-old boards immediately spots me and asks where is the creche. I'd like to clarify, my airline does not and has never offered childcare on board. She was adamant we should and continued to palm her children off on the crew for the rest of the flight. Luckily the kids were fairly quiet. Edit. Since so many have asked, I did mean palm off, not pawn off. Both terms are valid and mean to leave or push something and want it onto someone else. Working in the back of an ambulance on a patient with a serious need of nitroglycerine to lower their blood pressure. "Sir, before I give this medication to you, I need to triple check that you have not taken any ED drugs in the last 72 hours like Viagra or Cialis, rattles off all variations. If you have taken it and I give you this nitroglycerine, your blood pressure could drop dangerously low. Have you taken any of these meds?" "Oh no, never." "Are you certain?" "Oh yes, of course I am." Runs through potential deadly side effects again. "No, never." "Okay, hold this pill under your tongue. Does generic Viagra count?" "Grah. Why do you do this?" I work in a bank. Actually not even a bank. It's an advice center, so no cash or anything like that. Not that anyone reads the signs on the way in. Had a pair of women come in and one says that the other is visiting from France and needs to check how much is in her account and can I tell her. I ask if she's a customer of this bank, thinking maybe she's a student learning English and has set up an account because that's quite common. But no, she wanted me to tell her the balance in her French bank account. I used to work at a fine jewelry kiosk in a mall. Our jewelry included items like gold bracelets and necklaces bonded with sterling silver rings with cubic zirconia gems, gold engagement rings with diamond chips clustered together rather than one large diamond, etc. I had a lot of regulars, and this one woman would come in often and ask of every item she was interested in, "Is this real?" I explained what bonded means and how we don't sell diamond rings for $25, but that the rings were indeed certified sterling silver with synthetic gems. I gave her information like this over and over again. day after day, and she would follow up every explanation with, "Okay, but is it real?" This one was just 2 hours ago. One of my users came today with an iPad. When I asked what the problem was, she said that when she holds the power button and home button down for 10 seconds, it just shuts off and takes a minute to restart. That was her whole problem, that if she holds the power button, it turns off. She called it the ducking power button. I get too many dumb questions to remember them all. Here's a dumb encounter that happened just yesterday. When sending confidential documentation, we would encrypt it and put a password on it. It's common practice to send the document and the password in 2 separate emails. I got a message from this guy saying he couldn't open the document I sent him. Me: "Did you use the password?" Client: "Yes. It said there was an error." Me: "What password did you use?" Client: "I just hit OK and it said that I had the wrong password." Me: "Wait, so did you type anything in?" Client: "Well, no." Me: "Could you use the password that we provided you?" Client: "I didn't think it would work, so I deleted the email." Me: I work at an independent pet store. We sell mostly dog supplies, but there's a small section of cat toys, catnip etc. A newer, pretty gimmicky item we brought in is a line of catnip that is packaged to look like medical weed. There are the prescription bottles and pre-rolled joints. Now, the people know these are catnip products, but I've had multiple people ask, after puzzling over the pack of raw paper rolled catnip joints, "But how does the cat smoke it?" Or, "How can they even hold the lighter? They've got paws." I never do quite know how to reply besides muddled laughter. I won't get into my job, but I am routinely asked what 80% or 85% of UAQ 100,000 is. People don't believe that I'm a sushi delivery guy because I'm white. I've worked part-time at a video game store for the last 2 years. This story took place last summer. A soccer mom comes in here with her demon spawn and gives me it for not having that Sonic game available. Me: "Hello. Welcome to insert generic video gaming store name here." Lady: "Yeah, hi. I want to buy the Sonic game." Me: "I'm sorry, mom. I'm not sure I understand you. Which Sonic game are you talking about?" Lady: "The one where you go fast. My child wants it and you will not disappoint him." Me: "Mom, we have Sonic Forces available to pre-order, but it hasn't released yet. If that's the game you're talking about, you can pre-order it now and receive it at release." Lady: "My son wants it now. Look, I'll slip you a tenner if you get it for me. Nobody has to know." Me: "I'm sorry, mom, but we don't have any copies of the game. And even if we did, I would not be allowed to break street date for the game." Once again, if your child wants the game, you can pre-order it now and you'll receive it on the day the game is scheduled for release. She then asked to speak to my manager, go figure lol, and kept trying to get him to break street date for a game we didn't even have copies of. Oh boy, I have a good one. While stationed in Italy in the Navy, a higher up, E7, in the IT department came to us to ask why our ship's SATCOM, satellite communications, was offline. We told him it was a connectivity problem and it'd be up shortly. He then proceeded to ask why we can't just hardwire it via Ethernet. I work in pharma and someone called yelling at me to stop selling her son weed. I think she took the definition of drug company way too literally. Edit. Pharma as in pharmaceutical company, not a pharmacy. I work at an Italian restaurant and this guy was looking at ordering a salad. And when I asked what dressing he wanted, he kept going back to the pasta sauces and asking sugo. That would be good on it, wouldn't it? I'll get that, and I tried to explain, sir, those are for the pastas. You got the Mediterranean salad, and he responded, you're right, maybe carbonara, another sauce. I don't get what he wasn't understanding. He seemed like a normal smart dude, but he just couldn't comprehend the difference between the dressings and sauces. What's in a vodka cranberry? Vodka and cranberry. Edit. Oh, I had this conversation with my co-worker last week. Him. So which ones are blueberries and which are blackberries? Me. Well, the blueberries are blue and the blackberries are black. Him. Well, duck you. Library clerk here. Do you have a phone book for celebrity phone numbers? No, sir. No, we don't. I was a driver in Honolulu. Picked up a couple that were on their honeymoon from England. After about 20 minutes the woman says to me, "So, we're on an island, right?" I honestly thought she was joking until the husband starts saying, "What the hell do you think we've been flying over the last day?" I used to manage a store that held a charity drive supporting Toys for Tots, a USMC program. A customer asked if any of the money went to fund abortions. Seriously, abortions? I work at EB Games. It's mid-year sale time in Australia. Customer, do you have a sale going on? No, we just like to decorate the store with sale signs to mess with you. A full-grown woman asked me how big our pizzas were. I stick out my fingers and eyeball about a foot and say, "A foot? So this big?" She pauses for a moment and finally says, "Oh, lengthwise? Our pizzas are circular, so any point across is lengthwise." Maybe she didn't know our pizzas were circular, but it was pretty dumb. So I go back to tell the other co-worker what I just experienced. Right after I tell her the punchline, "Oh sigh, any point across is lengthwise." She stares at me with this confused look on her face. She smiles and finally says, "Ooh, okay, less than am more than. Not all of us are MR. Engineer student over here." I just walked away. I didn't know how to handle it. I'm not a ducking genius for knowing about the geometry of a circle. I work at an electronics store. Hi, where are the large non-smart TVs? Well, most companies don't make large TVs without smart features. It can't have Wi-Fi. Well, it's not really a cost factor. You can get a large TV and not use the features. No, it still transmits signals. I'm allergic to Wi-Fi. You're kidding, right? No, I'm serious. I'll get deathly ill just being around anything wireless. Do you use a cell phone? Yes. Laptop? Yes. Are you feeling alright right now? Yes. Mom, I don't think you're allergic to Wi-Fi. Everything in this store is connected to Wi-Fi. Hundreds of people have cell phones and you seem just fine. So you don't want my money. This is why Redacted is going out of business. I worked at a Mongolian restaurant that served white rice. A guest honestly did not know what rice was when I offered him some. I had to explain it as those little white things. After 10 seconds of me trying to figure out if he was just messing with me, he looked at me still confused and I just said never mind. In high school a while back I worked at a Tim Hortons and we were advertising that we had just put in free Wi-Fi. Old guy at the drive-thru asked for a free Wi-Fi. We asked him again and he repeated himself. It wasn't for a few seconds we realized he didn't know what Wi-Fi was and thought it was some sort of free promotional item. Maybe not necessarily dumb on his part, but it was really funny and turned into an inside joke at the store. I'm a pie. I was investigating a murder and I found an old couple who were friends of the victim and he would occasionally come over to their house. I asked them when the last time the victim came over, and they spent about 5 minutes arguing back and forth with each other whether it was before or after the murder. A group of 4 ladies sat on a table that is reserved for a group of regulars every day. Before I opened my mouth to let them know, one says we see a reserved sign but we are unsure exactly how reserved it is. I used to work on a restaurant that was quite popular with the organic healthy lifestyle crowd. This particular lady asked me if we tested our water for ionizing radiation, and made it clear that if we didn't she would leave. Out of sinister curiosity, I told her of course we do. In fact, I'll test it right in front of you. Just let me get my Geiger counter from the back. I downloaded a mock Geiger counter app and tested a glass of tap water in front of her. She completely bought it and proceeded to order a fruit salad and a water bottle. To be fair, my phone case at the time made it look a bit blocky, so there's that. I told the manager, and we had a good laugh. I still can't believe I got away with it. While showing Apollo 13 to my astronomy class, I had a student ask me the dumbest question I have heard as a teacher. During the Houston, we have a problem scene. This student raised their hand in the back of the room. A friend next to them told them to put their hand down and it was a stupid question. I went back and asked them what their question was, and this was their answer. Are all of the guys there named Houston? Think of this. 1. How many guys have you ever met named Houston? 2. What are the odds that there are 30 guys named Houston, all in the same room? I have taught for nearly 10 years now. and that one is still the winner. Working at a college. Trying to get a laser connected via the network, but the way they have it set up, we need admin rights to access the settings. Send email to IT asking them to open the port to us so we can configure the connection. An hour later a dude walks into the class with a bunch of hardware and asks, "Where did you need the new port?" I worked at an animal shelter. A drunk woman asked if she could have a kitten for free because it was broken. The kitten had one eye. "Can I have chicken medium rare?" "No, you cannot." A business client asked me if I can recover a file he deleted. I said possibly and asked when he deleted it. He deleted it years ago. "Are you Asian?" "Yes, I am." "What type are you?" "I'm Korean." "OHHHHKO Nikaiwa, every syllable pronounced. Your server will be with you shortly. I work with fire alarms. Is there a volume button to make it not as loud? Not a stupid question, but there isn't. Yes, there is. You're doing this on purpose. Turn the volume down now or I'll sue you. Then told her to get away from me and she turned me in for being rude. Nothing happened to me. I work at the post office. A customer came in and asked me, "Do you sell stamps here?" Edit. In USA. This can be swapped around because I thought I had a dumb question but it was legitimate, making me the dumbest. Customer, "Do you have any flavor tea?" Me, "All tea has flavor." One of my roles is an IT rep for the department I work in. Someone approached me saying their computer speakers were broke. My first question, as I was used to this, was, "Are you sure you tried turning the volume up?" "Yes." Of course they said whilst rolling their eyes at my ludicrous question. So I walk across the office to where their computer was with them by my side. I take one look and turn the ducking volume up. That was the day I gave up. Anyone who thinks their job doesn't involve learning how to use the basics of a computer, you're completely wrong. Sort your it out. This is the damn 21st century and everything revolves around technology.